Should we buy the dip, right? That's a big question. I see a lot of these comments lately. This is the worst cycle I have ever experienced when it comes to altcoins. This is how a lot of people feel right now. But is it actually the worst cycle when it comes to altcoins? Or should we try to, set our emotions aside and look what actually is going on to find out like, is it a little different? Is it a little screwed? Or is this an insane opportunity we're having right now? So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video. If you want, subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. Alpha Factory link down below for the exclusive community. And let's get right into this. So I think that this is on a lot of people's mind because I see this more often. It's the worst cycle I've ever experienced when it comes to altcoins. So let's take a look what is going on right here, because Bitcoin at the moment, you can say like, well, Bitcoin is having a correction. Depends a little on how you look at it, right? If you put Bitcoin on the weekly, then I would say, where is the correction in the room with us right now? Because I don't see it, right? If you put it on the daily, then yeah, there is some red right here, right? Okay, whoa, like that's like, let's please, if anybody says like, oh, Bitcoin is having a correction, please show him the chart. I would say like, this is like nothing, right? However, what's happening right now, because Bitcoin is kind of mooning for 2 years already. And if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, what's happening right here, it's also going up. And we had one real wick to the downside. It might be in the beginning of alt season, but we're now going back up. And now that Bitcoin is not really mooning that hard, altcoins are going down. And people feel like it's terrible, like it's a Bitcoin only run, and maybe some narratives here and there, and some coins out of that sector, and some coins out of that sector. Is this actually the case? Let's take a look. So for example, one of my bigger holdings, I want to make this video a little bit more personal. I am in crypto. I need to provide for my family, and this is my full-time job. So am I a little irresponsible right here? Yeah, maybe. Then again, it's also the conviction that I have in this market, because if you're new, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013. I got emotional and I sold for $800. So I made a 2x on it. Well, yeah, right? Then in 2017, I made money, right? I borrowed money to start with because I was broke as fuck. So I borrowed money, I put it in crypto, I got wrecked, and then I had a big problem. Then 2021, I started to do it way better. And now in this cycle, I feel like I kind of understand. It's like not that I know exactly how, what, and where, when, etc., but I understand how the cycle works. And it took me a couple cycles to take my emotions completely out. Now, that's the most important thing. Take your emotions out, right? So I now have a chunk of money in crypto that I, a couple of years ago, never thought I would have in the first place. And it's so easy. If you follow what the fuck I'm doing, I guarantee you that you will get that. Not that I'm saying like buy the altcoins that I buy or whatever, but it's not about that. It's about just following the market. Is there news? Ignore it. Are there emotions? Ignore it, and you will fucking make it. That's so simple, right? Because what's the funny thing? Every time in every kind of market and every piece of shit that we went through, like the good things, the bad things, right? COVID, war, ETFs, Trump, whatever, like good, bad, people always looked at that news and went like, wow, this is going to change it all. And what did it always do? Nothing at all, right? Of course, like COVID, it had a big wick, but cycle from cycle, it moves exactly, capital letters, exactly the same every time, until the minute, right? So therefore, in these corrections that we have right now, like, I mean, this is the altcoin market. Like, we are now up 435% instead of 535%. Fucking wrecked, right? Then again, I get that not everybody bought the bottom, and I didn't as well, though. And you always kind of just compare to your all-time high portfolio. Admit it. Like I do that as well, right? Oh, I had this, now I have this, fucking wreck. But then again, look where we came from. But in these times, you have to realize, like, it's now going down. What's going on? No, it's going down because it's a low liquidity kind of market that we're missing in, especially degens like us, right? We are not only in Bitcoin, we also want to make money on altcoins because there's more reward. Well, guess what? Then there's also more risk. And so you have to realize, like, hey, it goes down. Why? Because it's crypto. But it's more the question, when is it going down? Because we can look at the market and be like, hey, if we are here and it's going down, then there's probably more downside. But we are not at the top of the market, right? And why am I pretty confident about that? I just made a video 2 days ago about 11 top signals. Do check it out. I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm very convinced that Bitcoin is still cyclical. So we are not here. If anything, we are more here, right? This point. Why? Oh, because it's December 2020. It's 4 years ago, right? We have a 4-year cycle. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. So if we go back to around this place right here, right? Yeah, I mean, if we zoom out, then nothing happened over there. However, let's zoom in over there, right? What happened in this period? We had occasional moments in the market where we went down 70%. 70, right? For your vision, like we're now down 25%, but 70%. Then even these small things right here, 16%, they happened like weekly, right? And then again, we went down 31%. 30%, like, and it goes on and on. And of course, at a certain point, we're in a big fat bull market. But even like if you look at these wicks, right? If you put this on the daily, we had daily like crashes at around that period, probably. At least I don't know it from the top of my head if it was exactly there, but I guess that there will be some crashes, right? Like here, the altcoin market, for example, in one day, it went all the way to 104 billion, but in that same day, it also went to 70 billion, right? Like that's volatile as hell. Right now, we are in the same volatile altcoin market right now. It's less volatile maybe, but still very volatile. So this video is more like, take your emotions out. I see people like, oh, it's the worst market ever. It's actually not. It's actually more bullish. Why do I say that? Because you want to like look like, hey, is this behavior that we see in the, especially in the altcoin market right now, is it normal? Right? Like Bitcoin is 104K, but my altcoins are like, here, what the fuck? Bad altcoin market, right? Well, it's normal, actually, right? Because if we look, why are altcoins pumping? And again, I gave this example a couple times ago, but I think it's really important that you understand this. If you look at XRP, right? Mooning, right? Is it because XRP is doing great? Not necessarily. This is XRP on its Bitcoin pair, right? So it's not that XRP or one of these outperforming altcoins right now is doing so fantastic. It's more that Bitcoin is fucking ripping, and as long as an altcoin is doing anything on its Bitcoin pair, then the dollar pairs of these altcoins explode, right? If this is what happens to a high cap like XRP, then, you know. So how do altcoins on the Bitcoin pair look? Well, they are, at the moment, we only have to go down with another 23% and we are at a new cycle low, right? So everybody that says like, oh yeah, it's too late to buy altcoins, bro, we are sitting at the fucking bottom basically, right? It's not like that far from that. So is that concerning? Well, this is now December 2024, right? So how did it look in December 2020? Cycle low, right? So actually, if you compare this cycle to the last cycle at this specific moment in the cycle was even a little bit worse. The cycle before that then, oh, we were at cycle low. What the fuck, right? Like, this is not unusual. That's the money flow. And I think that a lot of people, and therefore I always find my own content so like important. But I do wish that I listened to this advice more in the past than people that said like buy these altcoins, because what the fuck, why do you want to buy certain altcoins if you do not even know in what kind of market you are playing, right? People, they buy altcoins, they expect it to all go up, but they don't understand how the market moves, and then they get upset because it does what they want, and then they get themselves wrecked by being emotional. So I do think that if you don't understand how this works, you should not be investing in crypto in the first place. Or if you don't care how this works, then you should not invest in crypto in the first place. This is the basis. And I don't want to be like, you should know this, but come on, it's your money that you're playing with. At least research the basic market that you are in. I think that that's more important. So yeah, no, if you compare where we are right now to the last cycles, we are exactly where we were in the last two cycles. So I get these kind of comments like, this is the worst cycle I've experienced. But it is not the worst cycle we have ever experienced. In fact, it's the best, right? Because altcoins are sitting at the same place on the Bitcoin pair. So that's not different. But Bitcoin is fucking over 100K. Can you imagine when altcoins are going to do this again? Then they will rip really fucking hard, right? And there is no reason in the whole wide world for me to believe that everything in the cycle so far is doing exactly what it always does. And even the bottoming process at the same point, in the same time, for altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, Bitcoin being exactly where it was in the last cycles, at the same moment, everything. But that this move for some reason is not going to happen, right? That's doom thinking. Like, why not? Like, are you actually scared that you might make money, right? Like, nah, I feel like, but there's always fear in the market, and therefore there are opportunities, right? Like there are, it's player versus player. People have to lose and people have to win. Simple. The people that will win are the ones that see these moments as opportunities, because the people that bought here rode a sick alt season. The people that bought here rode a sick alt season. The people that buy here will ride a sick alt season. But once we are here, there are always a lot of people that say, but no, we are so low, it's broken, it's different, it's fucked. Altcoins are not coming back. Like, that's, of course, that's the sentiment once we are that low. You won't have that sentiment once we are up here, right? So if you ever have to get that sentiment, yeah, then you get it here, right? And then the winners are the ones that say, no, this is not bad, this is not over, this is not different, this is not whatever, something negative. This is an opportunity. And there is a relative small group of people that believes that. And that's the 5-10% of people that actually makes a lot of money in crypto. So conviction. And therefore, it's like I said, these cycles, understanding the cycles is way more important than buying the best altcoins, right? Because you can feel like you bought the greatest altcoin, but if you now feel like, oh, altcoins are broken and it's never going up again and it's different right now, then you're not sitting comfortable on that altcoin bag, right? And if you understand the market, and it's never a guarantee, maybe it does this, right? But statistically, that chance is like not the best to bet on. So if you are sitting here right now and you understand this, then you can buy altcoins that you feel like, oh, I'm not really sure about that one, but hey, high upside, right? Because the market is most likely going to fucking rip, right? And then people always want to search for narratives. We don't need narratives because, again, it's quite coincidentally, right, that we get the exact narratives right here and that we got the exact narratives right here. And like, now it's how the market moves, and then we get the reason why it moves like that. But then again, if you want to give it a narrative, hey, we have Trump now. We have fucking ETFs. Like, people maybe don't still realize how insane that is, right? We have China printing money. We have the US cutting rates. Right? There are a lot of great narratives, and not only Trump, but the whole nation in America, like how pro-crypto it's becoming right now, and if there will actually be a Bitcoin reserve. But now people try to rely on that. Like, ooh, I see it on Twitter as well. Some people, they said like, well, if we get a Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin goes to 500K. And if we don't get it, we go to 70. Like, huh? Now we need a reason to go to be in a bull market. I think it's more the other way around. I think we need a reason to go down because overall money is getting worth less. So the assets against money with a limited supply automatically go up, right? That's just basic shit. So we don't need a reason. We don't need a reason. And I don't see a lot of bad reasons at the moment. And I see some comments here and there like, well, the total 3, like the RSI is topping out, right? And then they try to look for those kind of things. And then I feel like the RSI is topping out. Look, not on my chart. And also, if you look at this, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's also quite comparable to what it did over here before it went up really hard. Or whatever narratives there are, like, hey, recession incoming. But people have been screaming that for 2 years. You know what I think? I think that the market is going to top out end of 2025, like it always does. That's just what I find most predictable. And the eventual narrative that it has to get could be a recession, right? That doesn't matter. We'll see by then, right? But it's always chart first, news comes after. So if anything, I look at this market right now and I think that this is a great opportunity. And if you do not see this as an opportunity, then it's one, because you maybe don't trust the cycle of the sector that you are putting your money in. So I don't know why you're doing this then. Or you maybe bought the top because you somehow let yourself lead by emotions, right? Emotions. You see all green candles and you feel like, oh, yes, we should buy. And then you see red candles and you feel like, fuck, should sell. Try to train yourself to make that the other way around. And then you will do like fine, like absolutely fantastic. So what I made a lot of mistakes in crypto in my journey, and it all comes down to being emotional. And once I stopped being emotional, I started making a lot of money with crypto. I got emotional again. Example, 2013, I bought Bitcoin for $400. Right? Just one. If I did nothing with it, I would have 100K today. That's a pretty good deal, right? But hey, then again, when do you sell? But I got emotional. I saw Bitcoin at $800 at that point, and that was a lot of money for me. So I was like, whoa, it was a happy emotion, right? I don't know what the fuck this is, but then I made $800 with it, or 400. So let me sell, right? Mistake number one, too emotional, too happy, too enthusiastic. Cycle number 2 for me, I got carried away. I got FOMO. I saw a market that went up. I did not really understand bull and bear markets back then. And I just saw it go up, not really thinking about the fact that it might not last forever. And then I saw it go down. And then I felt like I was in that, I had bull market PTSD. Right? So I felt like, oh yeah, but it's only going up, right? So let me buy more with money I didn't have. And then I got completely wrecked. So also way too emotional, way too carried away in that whole market. And there were a lot of other ways for me to get wrecked, these smaller things where I got scammed or whatever. And now I just look at this and be like, news, okay, whatever. Narratives, doesn't really matter, right? Like, let's take a look. Where are we? Right? Where are we in this cycle? How is the cycle behaving? Oh, we are there in this market. Okay. Dips are at this moment for buying. So if anybody asks themselves, like, is this time different? Is this a worse market than usual? Look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, right? They are always at the lows in this exact stage of the cycle, right? Now, luckily, altcoins on the dollar pair do fine, right? Because Bitcoin is over 100K. Just imagine, and that's not a weird assumption or anything, because that's what always happens. Just imagine how altcoins on the dollar pair will look like once they start to outperform 103k Bitcoin, or 150 by then, or maybe even 80. It doesn't matter. Guys, that's where it blows up. And by that time, maybe a lot of people don't believe in it anymore because they now see Bitcoin run and maybe dip 2% and their altcoins are down 20. But to be honest, and I made that mistake in this cycle a little bit as well, but I did a lot better than the cycle before that. But to be honest, it was not time to buy altcoins yet. So far, right? Like if for the last couple months, maybe it was. But overall, again, if you look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, they made a cycle low at the beginning of November this year. Yeah, people were already buying altcoins right here when Bitcoin bottomed, or maybe even earlier. And Bitcoin went up from there, right? You can overlay it, you can see it. Bitcoin actually went up from that point. Oh, whatever. Here. And altcoins on the Bitcoin pair. But again, that's what happens in every market cycle so far. That's not different, right? Bitcoin here, it let me see. Where the hell do I have my, can I get it on logarithmic? Thank you. So here Bitcoin bottomed, right? And Bitcoin went up, and altcoins kept on going down on the Bitcoin pair. And in this cycle, it's probably same, right? Here Bitcoin bottomed, went up, and altcoins kept on going down on the Bitcoin pair. So this chart, others / Bitcoin, most crucial chart at the moment that you can take a look at, in my opinion. Like, you can take a look at your altcoin charts on the dollar pair, but it doesn't really matter because they just do something because Bitcoin is doing it, right? So then you might as well just look at Bitcoin, right? And again, there are underperformers, there are outperformers. It doesn't really matter. Overall, the whole altcoin market fucking sucks right now, and that's normal, right? So when do we expect things to go up? In my opinion, anytime, actually, right? Because this is the stage where we usually bounce, right? From this trend line at the end of the halving year, right? So time-wise and chart-wise at the same place. Now, of course, once it bounces right here in this cycle, for example, you know, it bounced up 53%. Then it went down with 20%, right? Now, if you feel like this is bad right now, I mean, we went up same amount, give or take, right? But we are now down with, well, 19%. It's kind of the same, actually, right? So if this move is exactly the same, the only more bullish thing that this is right now we are above the bull market support band. And in this cycle, when we had that correction, we were below it. So we now also have more, support, actually. But if that's exactly the same, then look at this cycle, right? We are now literally here, this right here. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that shit. I'm getting scared of these heights, right? So I want to wrap it up right here, guys. Shut down your emotions. Be an emotionless dick for the coming year, and you will completely make it. And again, that's not a guarantee. You never know. But it would be unwise to bet against this. Let me put it like that. So thanks for watching. Like the video if you want to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. And I'll see you guys in the next one.